Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. A few changes have gone on. As you can see, I got the new Talaria R MX4. We're going to unbox this and put it together here in this video. There will be no test ride in this video, it'll just be an unboxing and an assembly video, and with the addition of some other things that should be included in an assembly. The Luna-Cycle assembly video is very good. I recommend everyone watch that video first. But I'm going to include some things in here that they didn't, just in a perspective that I've worked on cars and bikes for many years. So this is just something a little extra. I know this is more of a cross between a mountain bike and a dirt bike, but you know, this stuff will help you anyways. A few changes have been going on. I renamed the channel. I had a lot of people say that the name was too long and stuff like that, so I renamed the channel. I renamed the Instagram page, make it a little shorter. Also, I made a list of, this is a list of what Luna-Cycle recommended on the assembly, and then I also added my own things, so I'll be going through my list. It's like a checklist, the assembly / checklist. And I also put torque specs on here as well. Luna-Cycle does include torque specs, but they don't include torque specs for everything. I'm not going to include that on here because I don't know them all yet. But I will pretty much torque everything down to spec. And so, you know, it'll be easier for you guys. You guys don't have to research everything. So let's get started with the unboxing. So the box didn't come in too bad. This is a heavy box, and you know, so there's a little bit of cardboard missing here, but it's nothing bad. It's not all smashed up or anything. I took a good look at it when it arrived. FedEx delivered it, and so speaking of FedEx, I asked him if he had delivered any other Talarias that day. He said he had delivered 46 others, and I was the 47th and last delivery for the day, and he started very early in the morning. Some people asked on the Facebook page. I bet no Surons were delivered. I didn't really care about that. I have nothing bad against Suron. I want to get a Suron, but the delivery driver did not deliver any that day. I asked him, like, hey, did you deliver any Surons? He's like, nope. They were all Talarias. He's like, I pick them up at the warehouse, and he said there's a lot of them. He said there's like hundreds of them. So these things are going out like hotcakes right now. So let's unbox this thing. What I'm using is I'm using some electrical strippers. These are like some high-end ones. You don't have to use that. You can use a razor blade or whatever. Just be careful when you do this. These are pretty heavy-duty straps too, by the way. So this box supposedly pulls up. Well, okay, maybe we should take some stuff out first. Or not. Okay, so it just lifts off. This. Sorry for the video. I'm using my Lumix G7 camera. I still need to figure out what's up with that thing. The focus on it, I don't think is that great. I've talked to some people about that know a lot about cameras, and they said it's a great camera for this kind of stuff, but they said the focus is kind of terrible on it. I don't know why they included this. This must be maybe oh, you know what? I know what it's for. To protect the neck. The stem for the bars, and it worked. There's a little hole in it, as you could see. Well, you probably can't see from there, but and one thing I wanted to mention too is I did order a new bar stem with the riser kit, and I ordered Pro Taper bars, 3.9-inch bars, riser bars. And the reason some people are like, oh, I'm going to write it the way it is. I mean, I'm going to put it together off stock and I'm going to write it like that for a while. The thing is, usually bars that come with bikes, even dirt bikes, they're crap. They're made I mean, I don't know about now. I haven't rode dirt bikes in a long time, but I know when I used to ride dirt bikes, I've had several brand new dirt bikes. The bars they used to come with were junk. They would bend like they were soft like butter. Go down one time and the bar bends. So I would not be surprised if that's how these are. I've already seen videos of people crashing and the first thing they bend is the bars. So, and that's fine. I'll bend these first and then I'll put the pro tapers on. Also, I want to see how the feel is for me. I'm 5'9", I'm about 207 pounds, 208 pounds. And I'll see how the rise is on the bars. So yeah, I ordered a new stem. I believe it's a Warp 9 stem. I ordered pro taper bars. The stem comes with a riser kit, which I probably won't need because I can if I want, but it's a 3.9 inch bars on the rise, so I probably won't even need that. I ordered also the stem, yeah, it's like I forgot what it's called. It's the lock kit, also Warp 9. It goes in through the stem and the forks. So it's supposed to lock, yes, I don't know if this is a triple tree, but it's supposed to lock everything together. So I bought one of those and a few other small things. I think I mentioned I did order the Milk Racing Supermoto wheels. Box. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is part of maybe part of the box. I'm not sure. I'll put it on the side for now. This must be another packing slip from Luna. This is from Luna Cycle. Okay, so these, I just saw these. So these must be the graphics. They're taped up on one of the cardboard protectors. I guess they face them in, I'm not sure, but these must be the graphics that are taped on here. I'm not going to run graphics. I'm going to leave the bike blacked out, but I'll just keep them anyways. So another thing I wanted to mention too was I've been reading a lot about these, is which version you were going to get, because there's supposedly an updated version of the bike. The way to determine this is the grips. If the grips are gray, you have the first batch, the older version. They're not older; it's just the first batch of the R. The black grips are the updated version. So they fixed a few things on it. I forgot what it was. I don't know what it is in detail, but I do remember they fixed several things on there. So I'm hoping I got the black grips. So we could check right now. And I did. So this bike has black grips on it, so I did get the updated version. So if you I ordered my bike June 10th. So I guess if you ordered June 10th on, you're more than likely going to get the black grips, the updated version. And it looks like the tire is like flat. It's barely beaded on the rim. I don't know what's up with that, but whatever. Maybe they did that from the factory. So let's continue. Okay, here's another box. So it looks like the battery's already installed. I thought the battery came in a separate box. Maybe that's a Sur-On thing. I don't know. I've never owned a Sur-On, but here's another box with parts. Some silica packs. So one of the things, yeah, it looks like the battery's already installed, but it's not plugged in. It's just, there's like tape and cardboard stuff around here. And the breaker's, of course, turned off. Looks like the little cover came off the seat. That's pretty cool. They put a little rubber band cover on here So a friend of mine ordered the XXX or the XXX, whatever you want to call it, and he had a hell of a time getting the plastic off the seat. He still has plastic on there, like on the bottom of the seat. So I'll leave this here for now. I'm not gonna. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna remove the battery. So actually, I'm gonna remove the battery, and I'm gonna unbox the charger, put it on the charger, and start getting it charged up. Okay, guys. So just a tip. Well, let me unbox the charger because this is the charger. So let's unbox this. I'm pretty sure it's the charger because it's kind of a little heavier than the other box. And cut away when you use a razor blade. Don't do what I just did, where I cut towards myself. So I'm gonna try to get this on camera. Hopefully it's focusing. So yeah, this is the charger. There's a little sheet here with the spec. This is a spec sheet / user manual. So this is the charger right here. So here's your cord. Almost looks like a computer cord. Here's how the charger comes. Hopefully that's focusing. Yep, looks like it is. So let's get this plugged up on the battery. I'm gonna plug this in off camera. One of the things, a tip for you guys to, when you charge your battery, plug the battery into the charger while everything's, first plug the battery into the charger, then plug the charger into the wall or whatever, your outlet strip or whatever you end up using. I recommend plugging it straight into the wall. Just so there's no shorts or anything. A friend of mine who works in electronics, he told me the same thing. He's like, hey, when you charge up your e-bikes, he's like, plug your e-bike battery in first into the charger. He's like, then plug your charger into the wall. So let me go do that real quick and get this going, and then we'll keep going on the unboxing. Okay, guys, I got the battery plugged in and charging. First thing that happened is the charger. There's a red light flashing on the charger. The fan turned on immediately, and there's an actual reading on the top of the battery that shows you how far charged it is or how low it is. Battery's actually almost fully charged. I don't know how much percentage it is because of course I didn't turn the bike on. I'm not going to do that. But it was pretty close to the top. Also, I noticed in some videos, I don't know, maybe it was just me or maybe because I'm watching a mixture of Suron and Talaria videos, the battery strap, the strap on the battery is red with like a black rubber handle. The handle on the battery, I'm trying to say. Mine is red. I think on some Talarias I've seen it where it's black. So I don't know if that's also an updated thing they did where they put a different strap on the battery. I'm not sure. So let's move on here. Okay, so one of the things they want you to do is, for the rear of the bike, they want you to leave the blue strap on connected. And then of course when you go to take the front axle off, you want to take off the blue strap first before you take the axle off. So this just, I'm just getting some cardboard out of here that's inside the striker plate on the cover. So I do not see the keys. They're probably in the box. I'm not gonna lock the top because I don't have the keys yet. All right, let's unbox this. Okay, so this box right here has got some Talaria branding on the tape. So these must be all the parts. Be careful when you unbox anything with a razor blade, as of course you could damage it. Okay, so here we have, looks like some instructions, assembly instructions, and some other things. Let me throw this razor blade out of here so I don't hurt myself. Okay, so here you have, looks like you have an instruction manual. Talaria supplies you with your first oil change for your gearbox. So you have gear oil in here. Let me see what, so they call it API GL5. So this is 85 weight 90. I'll probably use this on the first one since it's free, but I am going to put some better oil once it's time for an oil change. But actually, after, I think they require you to do the first oil change at 100 miles, I believe, 100 or 160 miles. And then the following oil change, I believe, is at 3,000 miles. So I'm not going to wait that long. I'll do the following oil change at about maybe 500 miles, and I'll put better oil in it. So this is the number plate. So it's got like the Talaria number on there. I'm not going to put that, I'll put that on, but I'm going to put it on backwards probably because I like the black. Looks like it came with some tools. Here's some foot pegs, which I will be replacing these later because the foot pegs, I could already tell, are super cheap. They don't even look like they grip very well. They're very, a lot of people have been complaining these are slippery. But in the meantime, I'm going to use them. I don't have new foot pegs anyways yet. Here's the cover for the stem, some of the bolts for the stem, and probably bolts for foot pegs. Here's the rubbers for the battery to keep the battery in place. Now here's another tip. I recommend adding other things to keep the battery in place because people have been having a lot of problems with the battery moving around. So I already have something I'm going to do. I'll probably do another video on that. I actually got this tip from another YouTuber that's pretty new, and he had a really good idea. They do make this little clip thing. It goes on the top. It looks pretty cool. I just found it today, but it's like 15 or 20 bucks. But I bought some $4 furniture pads that will go on the side of the battery, and the battery doesn't move. I mean, the clip thing looks pretty cool, but for $5, I mean, you can't beat it. These are the axle bushings for the front wheel. And looks like here we have some tools. And zip ties. So we have also some zip ties to probably for the number plate, and then to put the maybe clean up the wires. And we also have more straps to clean up the wires. We have the keys. Here's the keys right here. Some more bolts. Yeah, so the bolts, actually the keys are inside the same bag as the stem cover. So that's another thing I tell you guys. The stem cover is very cheap. I'm sorry, the whole stem is very cheap. I could already tell by looking at some of the parts on there. Okay guys, so this is pretty much what you get, pretty much what I showed you. You get the number plate for the front. There's the instruction manual, the oil, the tools, which I will not be using because there's some pretty cheap ass tools. The Allen wrenches look like they're somewhat legit. Front wheel bushings, keys, stem cover, bolts, straps for the wires, zip ties. There's the bolts for the foot pegs. I don't know what the little bolts are for yet. Maybe the fenders, I'm thinking, or the fender. The rubbers and the plastic for the battery, and those are the foot pegs right there. Another thing I wanted to recommend is hex kits. I'm going to be using this. A friend of mine gave me this for Christmas a long time ago. I've barely used it. Get this stuff out of the way. I recommend a very high-end hex kit if possible, if you got it, or get one, because you will strip Allen heads very easy. Unfortunately that happens. So this is the stem right here. I'm just going to go over the bike real quick. There's a stem. It's very cheap. Just looks like a regular, like a BMX or a mountain bike, more like a mountain bike stem. I mean, this is kind of like a cross between a mountain bike. If you guys notice anything different on here, for you Talaria owners that already have one, the light looks like it's bent down a little bit. I don't know if that got hit in the transportation. Here's the grips, as you can see. They're black. That's not going to want to focus, but that's okay. then as you can see, the wheel here is the tires. It's not even beaded down, but that's okay. That might be the way they ship these. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bars on. And when you put the bars on, you don't want, be careful when you cut these off too, because all the wires are right here. You don't want to cut any of the wires, so just feel under the zip tie that you cut each one. Looks like there's another one here. Okay, so just cut all these little zip ties off. Take off this cover that's on the bars. They did a great job they did a great job packaging this. As you guys saw in the Rev 1 video, the Ride One Up Rev 1 video, the bike came in damaged and it honestly wasn't packaged very well. So this is going to go like this. So it looks like I will have to move this bike away. I should have done this earlier, but I need to move it away from where I have it put right now. There we go. Okay, so this is going to end up going like this. So what you guys want to do is when you put these on, you want to just put them on finger tight for now. You don't want to fully install the cover for the stem. Just get them in there finger tight. And just remember that these strip very easily. I think also the torque specs on these are 10 Newton meters, which sometimes is not even tight enough. I put those to 10 Newton meters on the Rev 1. I'm saying not on the Rev 1, on the Super 73 that I had, and the bars were still loose. This is also why I purchased the Warp 9 stem, because it's just a lot beefier stem. And that's strapped to the back strap still. So I think I might use his method and use the cardboard, because it doesn't look like my bike stand. I mean, that's not even a bike stand I'm going to use. It's more like a stool or a step stand, but it could also work as a bike stand. My sister actually left that thing here. So there is, I believe this is it. Part of the packaging that actually works pretty good. So we'll do that first. That's not high enough, obviously. I'm just trying to see what's going on here because these are moving. Okay, looks like these have to be clamped, I think. Or maybe not. These look all... These kind of look out of whack, but we'll figure it out. So let me see, maybe I can't put that clamp on there. Or that stand. Okay. Looks like that was possible. That works somewhat. Not that steady, but it works, I guess. So a few other things we'll check on here too that people are complaining about. We're going to check the front sprocket on the motor. People are saying there's slack that goes in and out. They say someone told me to put an O-ring on there or something. I'm not going to put anything. I still have to check it. Who knows? Maybe it's this one's good because it's the other one. I'm not sure. Looks like these are off a little bit. Don't press the brakes, by the way, guys. So the front wheel came inflated and beaded, which is interesting, and the back wheel is not beaded. Okay. So the front are the same here, but before I even do that, so now I know why some people are not cleaning the rotors. I'm touching these with the back of my hand, by the way, not my fingers. So the rotors are actually dry. That's why people are throwing these on and riding them. So you don't really have to clean the rotors. I was going to clean the rotors, but I checked the back one too, and it's actually fine. So pretty much you get your axle ready, which is right here. It goes in one way. The cap screw for the axle goes on the side, which would be the driver's side. So if you're, for me, facing the bike, it's on the right side. Then it goes this way. And also you have to line these up because they turn. See that? So these have to be lined up as well. Because if you put it in, you're going to have a hard time like I might. It almost feels like one's lower than the other, but it might be because the bike's crooked. So anyways, install your bushings first. Be careful because there's an O-ring on here. Throw this in there, spin it a little bit. Stick this one. There we go, that one's in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull out this plastic protector, which I just did. Here it is. It's black on this. And when you put this in, you're going to line up the rotor with the brakes, like so, kind of. There we go. Looks like I got it. Might have possibly got it in. And see, this one's already coming off. So these looks like they're a little bit of a pain. Okay. So I got that one in. Okay. There we go. Don't force anything. There we go. This is a real pain without any help, but it is what it is. Also, I forgot to mention is make sure your pinch bolts are loose, which I forgot to do. So now the bike wants to tip over, but hang on. So yes, make sure your pinch bolts are loose. And one of mine was not. This one's already loose. Yep, these need to be loose too. surprised the axle came out so easily earlier. There we go. Now maybe this will go in a little easier. There it goes. And there it goes. Get your axle nut. Screw that in. And that's going to be a larger one, which is a number 8. And let me get the torque specs on this. So the axle cap is 10 to 15 Newton meters. I like using torque wrenches for stuff. This is the torque wrench I use. I've had it for a very long time. So 14 Newton meters is actually pretty tight. And that's it. And then give it an extra one. And it should be good to go. Don't over tighten this stuff. This stuff is all aluminum. And guys, I'm doing this real time because I know they forward the videos and stuff, or you know they cut them and edit them. I'm doing the install real time. So now I'm checking my rotor. And the rotor's pretty true. There's a little bit of rubbing, but that's normal. So now we're going to tighten the pinch bolts. Pinch bolts are going to be 10 Newton meters, and those are number 5s. So the pinch bolts, remember the pinch bolts, you don't just first tighten them by hand. Don't over tighten pinch bolts, and don't tighten one side. Like, for example, there's 2 on each side. Don't tighten one whole side at 10 Newton meters and then do the other one, because what's going to happen is one's going to be loose, then the other one's going to be loose again, then you tighten one, it's going to be, you can't do that. You got to seat them together with your hands first, you know, finger tight, and then do one side at a time and go back. And by when I mean one side, I mean the same side, because there's 2 on each side. And they already have Loctite on them too. So I'm doing this one because I can't do this one by hand all the way because I think they put a little more Loctite than necessary. Okay, there we go. So this will be 10 Newton meters. So reset your torque wrench. So you'll go one side, do like a half a turn, go on the other side. See, that one already got loose. Tighten a little more. Looks like the bike's about to tip over. Oh, we might be, well, after we get this on, we'll put it on a stand. There we go on that one. So some people cut these because they're very tight. This one is very tight, but I just happen to just use some strength and just get it off, so it worked out for me. There we go. Also the let's see here. Okay, now I got a bunch of junk in the way. Let me clean some stuff up and I'll continue. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to line the handle, the bars. So we'll before we even do that, let's get the, this is a fender. Forgot about this. Some people don't run the fender because they think it's like a dead giveaway that it's a dirt bike. I want to run the fender. because it looks cool. So I'll run the fender, but I'm not going to install that yet. I'm going to adjust the bars because that's something I probably would forget. So some people have their bars adjusted differently. Okay, let's see here. Oops. So let's see, make sure you center them. There's some little lines on there so you can center them. So I like my bars kind of forward a little bit. I don't like them all the way back. Some people like them like that. I don't like that. I like them forward. And it looks like we're pretty close here. Just make sure you align them. So what you might have to do too is you might have to loosen these by hand again. So you can move them a little better. Remember guys, these have to be tightened. See how they fell? These have to be tightened very evenly. Okay, once you get them centered, then you can tighten them a little bit, and then do your thing with the way you want to set them. So you want to have a little bend. Also depends where you sit on the seat. So that feels pretty comfortable to me. So now what you start doing is just start tightening these by hand first. You know, all around evenly. What you could do is check the clamp, how even it is from the front and the rear. So this one's a little clamped down the rear more. So the front needs to be done. So what you do is you go around and tighten one side a little more and then loosen the other side so you get them even. Because this is currently not even. So that's about even. So then what you do is once you got it even, tighten them by hand all around, as tight as you can by hand. And then you want these at 10 Newton meters. I'm going to go just a little bit beyond that, just because I'm going to replace these anyways. Okay, so this is already set. So go like that. And then you want to go crossways too. That. Remember, and another thing to make sure is, make sure your tool is seated completely inside this Allen, because if it's not, you'll strip them. There's that one. There's that one. That one. And that one. So I'm going to go just a little bit beyond now. Just a little bit, not that much. Okay, and that's it. Now is also a good time to adjust your levers if you need to. Looks like this one's a little high. This one's actually the one where the throttle is, which I think is the front brake, is actually perfect. And then you want to pump the brakes too. So that's the front brake, back brake, front brake feels a little like it goes in kind of a lot. So I don't know if this needs to be bled or what, or maybe once I ride it, you guys also have to bed the brakes too, just like on a car. So the levers are off. This one's down low. This one's a little high, which is nothing too bad. The thing about them being too high is if you go to reach for that brake, if you're not riding on the brakes, it's going to take longer. So I'm going to adjust these a little bit, which I think they're a different size. They might be a 3. I will say the kickstand on these bikes is pretty good. Oh yeah, also, since we're on the talking about a few things, the battery. So right now I went to crank up my air compressor over there because it was kind of low, and my air compressor is plugged in over there, and so is the battery. And I didn't even read how many amps the battery charger sucks up, but it ended up tripping the breaker. So make sure, like I said earlier, make sure you guys plug it in a separate outlet or something, or if it's something that's got low amps on it. So these are pretty tight on here, so be careful. Again, make sure your tool's seated all the way. And then when you loosen these, loosen them evenly, because these are also clamps. This is not the steps of doing this as far as assembling the bike. I'm just doing this because I'll, so I don't have to do it later. Because what you're going to do after this is you're going to plug everything in, like the brakes, sensors and stuff like that. So that feels pretty good to me. Yep, that's about even with how the right side was set. So I'm good there. I'm thinking these must be 10 Newton meters because they felt pretty tight. I know my head's chopped off in the video right now, but that's because I was doing stuff on the bottom. These don't have to go on 10 Newton meters, by the way. Good enough. There are a left and a right on the foot pegs. So we'll open those up right now. The foot pegs are so cheap, I could already tell. These things are junk. But it's okay. At least it came with foot pegs, right? So the way you want to put the foot pegs in, so for example, they got to bend back because if you fall everything and you're going forward, everything bends back. So for example, this is the right side, which would be if you're on the bike, it's on the right, because this will bend in like this. It'll fold back. See that? Back. So that's going to go on the right side. And there's some adjustments, it looks like, here for the foot pegs, too. Looks like you could put them, some adjustments here for the foot pegs, looks like. Possibly. Or not. Yeah, looks like there is. Looks like there's some far back or far forward you could go. So there's 2 adjustments on here. Not sure which one I'm going to want. But I'm just going to put it in the middle for now. And if I need to make that adjustment, I'll do it later. So these screw in pretty easy. You know what? I am going to get my tool because I will be here all day with their tool. I have a crescent ratchet wrench, so I'm going to use my 15. It's a 15 millimeter, by the way. So I use my own. So these are made by Crescent. It's got the part on the end. Makes the job a lot easier. You could also use a socket if you want, but there's space back here for this. So get this pretty cinched on there. You don't want, obviously, you don't want your foot pegs coming off, and there is no Loctite on these foot pegs. So on the video, the Lunicycle video for the left side foot peg, it shows to be careful for the wire back here for the kickstand sensor. You don't want to damage that. So be careful for that. So pretty much when you're putting the nut in, I know you guys can't see it, but you'll see it when you put your bike together. Don't crush that wire under there. A lot of people disconnect the wire, or I don't know what they do, or why. I haven't looked into that. I've always had, for starters on dirt bikes, I've never had kickstands. And then I've had them on sport bikes, but I've never disconnected on a sport bike. But as you know, you guys know what happens that have rode sport bikes before. I mean, it's good to have because you won't leave your kickstand down if you take off. I know some of you guys, I don't know if you guys have ever rode your kickstand down by accident. I mean, I've heard of stories where it'll actually catapult you off the bike, or you'll crash or whatever. So I'm not going to mess with this right now. I'm going to keep my kickstand sensor. See, I don't know if you guys can see from there, but they fall back when you fall. So the fender, obviously, long part goes that way, faces up. There's going to be 3 holes down here. Get my screws and washers ready. And then same thing, you want to put these in by hand first. You don't want to just crank them down. Some of you guys, like I said earlier, might not want to run the fender. I want to run the fender. I like the look. This is actually, guys, this is a, speaking of like dirt bikes and stuff, I swear this is, I caught myself looking at dirt bikes last night, you know? Something I haven't done in years. This is like a gateway into a dirt bike, I guess, you know, like a full dirt bike. I'm talking like a motocross bike, you know? Like I said, do these by hand first. Don't start cranking on them yet. I know the video is going to be kind of long, but sorry about that. I'm just trying to give you guys a real-time live of how long it takes to put the damn thing together. So. And there's no, you don't have to worry about aligning the fender. It'll just go right on because there's 3 holes here and they're in the shape of a triangle. So pretty much the front 2 will line the fender up. There's 1 in the back and then there's 2 in the front, so that'll line the fender up. I don't know how many newton meters the fender is, but I think the guy's name was Chris. He did say to snug it on there pretty good because it could get loose. But don't go too crazy because these are cap screws and you could strip these. And you might need an extension. You use the extension that you use to put your front axle on, or take off your front axle. Okay, there we go. So remember guys, don't go too crazy on these because these screws are cheap. I could tell. See, I just almost stripped one right now. And make sure they're seated. Yep. These screws are very cheap. And this is a plastic fender, so it ain't gonna go on that tight. Remember that too. Okay, that's it. Pull the plastic off. Alrighty. Going to plug everything in up here. So all the wires here, they're all they're color coded and stuff. Trying to find the where these plug in. Oh, here we go. So this is, here they are. Okay, so the green one's going to be your throttle. So there's arrows on these. Follow the arrows and plug them in, or you're going to bend the tabs and then you're screwed. I don't know if the other model, or not same model, but if the previous one with the gray grips, if it had this jelly, rubbery stuff at the bottom of the battery. I'm not sure. I wonder if they did something here. Looks like they might have added something. I'm not sure. You guys that have the ones with the gray grips, could you comment and tell me if where the battery sits, if there's like a shiny jelly kind of rubber in there. So you want to put the battery in first. Sure you can plug it out of the way. So what they want you to do here is they want you to put the rubber end on the battery itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little alcohol pad and clean off any possible, stuff on the battery itself, any little oils or anything that's on there, because I want that rubber pad to really stick on there. So I know that rubber pad's going to go somewhere over here. And I'll also clean the cover here. I pretty much checked the air pressure, put the battery and the little rubbers in. I ended up, so when I put the rubbers in, it's still, you gotta make sure the lid closes nice and tight. When you guys go to open the lid, you need to press down a little bit to turn the key so you don't snap anything off in the key. So the rubber is up here. But the battery, yeah, you put the little rubber stopper in here, the battery still moves. So that's why I got those other little rubber things that other guy brought up in the video. I'm going to put those in the sides and one in the back so it'll work better than this. This is just not enough. I know it's going to rattle. So should snap nice and tight because it'll somewhat hold the battery in. Put the key in. I already turned it on and checked it. It's going to say wait, press start. It's going to start up in sport mode, guys, so make sure you put it in eco mode if you never rode one of these. I haven't rode it yet. Probably won't till tomorrow because I don't have time. I have other things I need to do, but you press start. I put it in eco. Make sure you got nothing back here. Mine's up on the motorcycle stand. 27, 28 miles an hour. I don't know how accurate this is. I know it's off. And it's on kilometers, so I need to adjust it. That's in eco mode. I'm just going to leave it in eco mode. I'm not going to do anything else. The headlight's going to have to be adjusted. Probably actually adjusted it right now. There we go. It's already somewhat tight. I haven't adjusted anything else yet. Right now, oh, the tires, yes. So, the tires had no air pressure in them. The back one, as we knew we talked about in the video earlier, there was no air pressure in the back tire. The front one looked like it had air pressure in it, but it didn't, because when I put my gauge on there, it said 0. So I think it's because the tire's lower profile and smaller. It gave me the false sense that it did have air in it, but it did not. So I put I don't even know what the pressure's supposed to be at, but I think max is 32. I didn't put them at 32. I put them at 25. I'll have to do some research on that. I am going to ride it in the street the way it is right now. I'm not going to do anything else. It's funny because the Pro Taper bars just came in with all the other stuff, the Warp 9 stuff, which is funny. The UPS driver just came by. So that stuff came in, but I'm not going to put it on yet. I'm going to ride the bike like this for a while. I even purchased some grips, some Pro Taper grips. But these grips are pretty cool. I like these black. I didn't know mine was going to come with a black grip, so if these are still good, I'll probably use these again. We'll see. It's nice. It's got bar ends on it. Everything seems to be working fine. I'm not too happy about the front brake. I'll have to test it. Maybe I need to ride it first. But the bike looks great. Everything works. I'll try sport mode right now while it's up on the stand. So just pulling the rest of this stuff off. So this one's a little more difficult to pull off in the front part. So okay. Also, yeah, don't forget to unclip the vent tube for the drive down there. Completely forgot about that. I was funny. I was down there checking some bolts. And I'm like, oh crap! I forgot to unclip that. You leave it on there and you just unclip it. It lets let it breathe. When you load this in your vehicle or in your truck or whatever, and you're going to put it on the side, make sure you clip it back closed, or you're going to get fluid leaking out of there. So I'm still going to go over a few other bolts and stuff on this, check some more stuff, see if there's anything else. The back brake feels really good so far. I'm pressing it right now. I would have to ride it, of course, but yeah, make sure you check that vent tube and unclip it. If you guys have any questions, any comments, put them on the bottom. This is a long video. I wanted you guys to experience kind of how long it takes to put it together. I don't even know how long the video is, but my battery's probably almost dead. But I'll do a ride review video. And I'll also do an install video for the Pro Taper bars and all the other stuff. As I go on and mod this bike, I'll make videos on it and show you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Might have been boring for some of you, but just comment, like, dislike, whatever, and I'll see you guys on the next one.